Welcome back, folks, to the 1.0.1 common test server, and today we'll play with the tier 10 Italian medium tank, the Progetto M40 model 1965. So this is the new hotness, the pseudo bad chat if you will, but it comes with the AutoReloader. We already talked about the stats. Apparently, they are going with the nerf version. They nerfed the alpha and nerfed the reload. So it takes 15 seconds, then 13 seconds, then 12, then 10. So that's kind of bad, but the good part about this AutoReloader compared to autoloaders is that it can mount a rammer for this vehicle, whereas for autoloaders you cannot do that. So it helps with the DPM, but 10 seconds of reload at the maximum shells, that's kinda long for a 360 alpha gun. Yeah, that's kinda bad when you compare that to conventional guns. But if you're going to compare this to conventional one-shot tanks, it's not that fair because it has an AutoReloader. It has the burst damage. But then again, compare this to autoloaders, it doesn't pump out as much damage as the Batchat in one go. So you have to be flexible, you have to readjust depending on the situation, but it has the gun depression. Pretty good accuracy for AutoReloader or autoloader, and relatively fast aim time, so I'll put a rammer, obviously, and this should help out. Yeah, it helps out pretty much dramatically. So you could also put the improved rammer, but it's a new tank, so don't know if you want to invest that much into this vehicle. So we'll put a vertical stabilizer that should help with the aiming on the move and shooting on the move. Now for the last equipment, you could choose to put optics or improve vents. So if you put vents, it doesn't tell you how much damage you get. What is alt? Oh, it gives you a little bit more info now, depending on the equipment. Wow, that's pretty nice. Oh, that is amazing. They give you more info by pressing the alt button on the equipments. That's interesting. What else can I find? Oh, that's a gun. Oh, they added more info on the different icons. That's neat. Do you have more info on the APCR shells? Oh, that's pretty good for new players. Explaining stuff if you press alt. Like explaining what the hell is a spall liner do. And other stuff. That's cool. I like that. I really like that. Alright, so I'll think, depending on the spotting, the view range is the same as the Batchat, but this thing doesn't have the camo as the Batchat. And doesn't have the speed. It is relatively fast, but it doesn't have the horsepower per ton ratio. So I think probably optics. Probably. I'll put optics. You could put vents, but optics will help with the spotting. So 440 meters. And you're starting out with a new branch, with a new nation. And therefore the crew is not that well trained. Unless you played the M35, the tier A premium a lot. So we put recon, obviously. It's starting out. Doesn't mean much. Usually put off-road driving, helps with the mobility. And loader is whatever. Mostly repairs. You don't want to get stuck. So, let's try out this vehicle. But it is on the common test server, so it is in Europe. I believe it's in Germany? But the ping is about 150 for me, so kinda laggy, but whatever. You do not want high explosive. Well, let's see if the high explosive will fudge up this vehicle, but you carry 4-round clip, so let's make it divisible by 4. Everything has a list of actual info now. Wow, they put animation for everything. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they put more stuff with the animations and stuff. That's good for new players, teaching the newbies what the stuff are meant to do and stuff. So for the Italian style, custom style, yes, piss yellow. I could do it for, oh, it just looks barely the same. Can't do piss yellow. I'll do blue. Blue is more extravagant, I guess. But yeah, it's, I don't know, it doesn't have armor and it's not proven yet, so we'll see if it's good or not. But I don't want it on the tracks. Remove the tracks one. Ah, fudge it, I don't care. There you go. Let's just play with this thing and see how well we do. Yeah, 300 gold. That's a garage slot. But you can also dismount it and put it onto other vehicles. So we'll see how good the Progetto compares to the Batchat. Mostly, that's the main comparison. Or you compare it to the Skoda TVP T5051. High expectations out of this new branch. But what's good is, currently on the North American, the EU, and I think the Asian server are getting a marathon for the tier 8 premium. Not the Russian server, funny enough, or one of the which, but yeah, you're going to get a free premium tier 8 if you try hard enough. If you try hard enough, that's a big kicker. It's like 50,000 XP base in a day or something for like the last few missions, or you do pretty well for like top of the list, like consecutively for like 20 matches or something. It's ridiculous, but it's a premium tier 8. So so we'll see how the AutoReloader works. We'll test how the high explosive or the shell switch works as well. But I think if you already have a tray of shells, if you get to the high explosive, it fucks up everything. That sucks. Well, it turns pretty fast. Ah, clusterfuck. Clusterfuck. Clusterfucking. Oh, that's a pretty good skin. That looks pretty nice. So the first shell, and the next shell. Well, this stuff is not that slow. So it takes 2.7 seconds between each shot. And we'll test what happens if you put high explosive on. So the good part about this vehicle is you can auto-reload or you can snipe. But I need to test out stuff. Come on, Sam, we need to test and see how actually the auto-reloader works. So reloading the first shell, if you fire, it automatically cancels and you switch out to the last shell. So the reload depends on which shell you already have, obviously. But if you fire while reloading, it cancels out the reload and you reset. So you do not want to do this. You do not want to have only one shell and you're sniping with it. That gives super bad DPM, really bad. So wait for all the stuff to reload. Give yourself ample opportunity to reload all the guns. But in the meantime, go spotting. We have a Grow 15. So it takes progressively shorter amounts of time to reload the guns. I'm playing this as a freaking Leopard 1 right now, or as a Pat, so mostly just not using it to the full potential. You need to wait, Sam, you need to wait and reload the shells before you fire to have the maximum burstness. But alright, right now is the main test. Once I reload all the shells, let's see if I switch to gold shell or switch to high explosive. Will that cancels out everything? That fucking cancels out everything! if you use gold shell with a full tray, it reloads all the shells. It just basically resets all the shells. That sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. Oh my god. So don't even run high explosive. Why would you? Like, in dire situation, you might want to run high explosive, but hell, if you're going to run high explosive, might as well just use the speed to relocate and load up normal shells and just flank around, right? But god damn, that sucks. That's really bad. Alright, so we have the burst, but alright, so basically if you reload, so right now in this situation I only have 2 shells. So normally with autoloaders, you see that, oh, you only have 2 shells loaded, or you have no shells loaded. You're in the middle of reload and you cannot fire. Therefore, you cannot save your teammate. But with that situation, you have only 2 shells. You can actually unload to save your teammates while giving yourself a disadvantage of not having good DPM. So giving yourself time to reload. So basically trading flexibility or trading DPM for flexibility. And that's how you should play this vehicle. Already talked a lot about this tank. Already talked like a month ago. Yada yada, but take your time. It is more like autoloaders, but it's more forgiving. It's more forgiving if you play this thing hesitantly. So be less aggressive. So it's better than autoloaders if you want to have flexibility, if you want to have the chance of defending yourself while running away. But you need to think about your tactics. You need to think about where the hell you're going and how you're going to approach stuff. So basically right now I have the shells to knock him out. So he doesn't know that I have all the shells loaded. So it's a guessing game. Sometimes you have no problem guessing, ooh, the batch has reloading, you can go in. But for this vehicle, it's not that easy to predict. You have to think about how much shells. It's not as easy to guess how much shells the Progetto have, because they have random. It's not like a whole clip. You can count the number of shells the batch spends. You can count the number of shells in their clip. But for this vehicle, it's not as easy. So it's more flexible in that way. Is it a good system? I think it could be a lot better if it has more DPM. But if it has more DPM, then hell, you don't even play conventional turrets, conventional one-shots. So currently, 2500 DPM with the 9 seconds reload is not bad, but they don't show you the Excel spreadsheet. So they don't show you how much DPM you have with all 14 seconds of reload or whatever. But 9 seconds reload for a 360 alpha gun is kinda bad, but why did they nerf the alpha? Was it like super good compared to the Batchat? I don't know. So this vehicle could be more aggressive than the Batchat. The Batchat is more of a assassin-esque of a vehicle. It goes in, burst damage, it runs away. It runs away quickly. For this vehicle, you can take 1 shot or 2 shots and keep going with the aggressiveness. You don't have to back off. Just take some time to reload and then burst for the full damage. Then you run away. So that's probably the way you should play this tank, but is it worth it grinding all the way to tier 10 for a new nation? Well, it depends on the lower tiers. For example, the T30-100 and the TVP-VTU are garbage, and therefore not a lot of players have the Shkuda TVP T50-51, so they hate the grind, and therefore they thought, screw it, I'm not going to play the whole Czechoslovakian line just because the middle tier grinds are terrible. So it depends on whether the Panthera, whether the Progetto TER, the P43 TER at tier 7 or at tier 6, the BIS, are workable enough, are not that frustrating to play. But this system, well, I mean, you're not using the DPM all the time, so this goes into the principle of you not using the DPM all the time. You have to use the flexibility of the vehicle to shoot, and it's needs more test, but I think it's kind of viable. I did not see the full results of the last match, so meh. It does feel like more of a Leopard than a Batchat-ish, but yeah, we'll see. But the Leopard is also fast, so we'll wait for our teammates. But the key to playing this vehicle is the same as playing with the Batchat. It's the same as playing with the Leopard 1. You have to be a little bit reserved, not that aggressive in people's faces. Wait for vehicles with armor to push up, like the Patton, the 705. So be patient. That's how you should play the game. But our scout is dead. Dead to a 4005. Ugh. Terrible way to go. So you want to have vehicles with armor, and this is how you should play the vehicle, I think. Play it as a support flanker, similar to the Batchat, but it is more of a consistent support, whereas for the Batchat it is opportunistic support. It goes in for the kill, it goes in for the burst. So for this vehicle, it's more of a take your time, try to take some pot shots. If you can't burst, go burst. So that's the way of you playing this vehicle, I think. So go for him. So you have the shells, but we got hit by artillery twice. Oh no, we got hit by artillery once and the Patton once. So the good thing is you don't have to worry about the reload. You don't have to worry about how many clips in the shell or in the drum and how much time you have to reload all the shells, yada yada. So it is a little bit more flexible and forgiving than autoloaders, but you have to worry about the DPM. So we have all the shells loaded. 4005 should be able to handle the light tank. He has no health anyways. So it has 9 degrees gun depression, but it doesn't have armor. The turret is very weak. And we're in artillery alley, as you can see right now. So there are a bunch of autoloaders and auto-reloaders. And this thing doesn't have armor. Oh, not that thing! Never that thing. Do not want to take a 150 to the face. So right now, we're working on the IS-7. Good job to the teammates. They're all pushed up. I do not want to take 140 or 152. A long barrel 152 with very big high explosive from that thing. And there's a 455. Oh yeah. No, he's firing gold high explosive. You know he's firing gold high explosive into your face. So he is in artillery kill zone, whereas we have a wall. Alright, Patton, please. Patton, please, go if you want. So, alright. As long as we don't get the Type 5 in our face. Good. You can push. So 5 degrees gun depress. We now want to face the Type 5. You might shoot one high explosive into my face. That would be bad. So also, this is also another kill zone. If they have tank destroyers right here, they can shoot. Yeah. See? I thought we have turret armor. Where the hell did I get shot? Upper plate? Upper plate. And they're firing gold shells. Gun depression is still relatively good. Oh. He pins me, I cannot pin him. The frailty of life. Oh, shit. Right. So they still have a 268 and artillery. Yeesh, kill zone. So take our time, wait for the reload, wait for if they can see where the 268 is. So be patient, but we have a full drum tray of clips. Let's do this. Good job. So it's more flexible. Obviously, it's more flexible than a AutoReloader, but you have to pick your fights. And this is a very big freaking corridor map. Ooh, artillery killed the light tank by himself. OP. So yeah, it is not a assault support. It is not a Patton. It is not a Centurion, Action X. You do not have armor. You have to play a little bit more reserved, similar to the Batchat. But you can pick your fights more frequently than the Batchat because of the forgivingness of the AutoReloader. It's more flexible that way. So yeah, I mean, for a newbie who wants to learn AutoReloaders, it's not a bad tank. It's not a bad tank to learn AutoReloaders with this vehicle. You missed. So it has the capability of destroying vehicles, but yeah, it's not bad. Just disappointing that they nerfed the vehicle. Was it too good that they nerf it? I don't know, but 360 Alpha, it's leaning towards the Rumtail Panzerwagen now with the nerf. Was it? How much Alpha does the Panzerwagen has now? 320 for 105? Ugh. So let's take a look at the previous battle result. But third class, not that bad. So would you rather play this tank or would you rather play the Batchat? Well, Batchat is more skill intensive. You need to know how to readjust to targets, readjust to different flanks, see which side needs support, and go assassinate people. Take advantage, run in, kill stuff, run out. That's how you should play Batchat. Opportunistic killer. That's a Batchat. For this vehicle, it's more of a, you could go assassinating, but not as frequently. So it's curious about killing stuff quickly, but you can also play it as more of a conventional sniper-ish of a tank. The only downside is it doesn't have armor, so you have to be aware that the turret is only like 120 or something. It's rounded, but it's not that thick, and the upper plate is like 90 or 100 or 100 something. It's well sloped, but you're not going to bounce a lot of shots. So, and it absorbs a lot of artillery shells, also, like the Leopard 1. So if you get hit by artillery, it hurts. So as you saw with the last clip, the Batchat artillery, deals like 500 alpha or 400 alpha with 150 or so, or 152, but 155. But that's the smallest caliber of a gun for artillery at tier 10. So imagine if you're getting hit by something like the T92 or the GW E100 or the Conquer gun carriage. You're basically taking like 700 alpha plus or something for artillery shell. That would suck. So, yep. So I would recommend rammer, vertical stabilizer, and possibly optics for this vehicle. You do not need all the DPM from vents, and vents does not actually give you that much more DPM. So 360 alpha. Actually got him twice. So it has the flexibility, but take your time to reload. And we'll wait in the back, obviously. So key way of playing the Batchat, I've been playing the Batchat for years, is you snipe at the beginning of the match. And once everybody's dead, you have the flexibility, if you have enough health, to just go trading. If you have the health, just take all their health away. If they deal you 400 alpha, you can deal them like 1600. So you have the capability, but you need to survive long enough for that to happen. So you cannot obviously go charging into a crowd of dudes. What the hell this STRV is doing? I have no idea. That's not how you play. You drive backwards. You go forwards and backwards at about the same speed. But you have armor at the front, at the sloping at the front. So be a little bit patient. 150-ish ping. Oof. So this thing doesn't have armor, and we already have the flux of OPS 430Us and 268 version number 4. So you do not want to go brawling with those vehicles. Take your time. I can't even penetrate this lower plate. But then again, the lower plate has the most armor. So we'll take the back road and we'll support our team. Because another rule about playing World of Tanks is that you do not want to clusterfuck. There's no reason for you to clusterfuck. If everybody stays at one point on the map, nobody has flanking shots. Nobody has a way to counter enemy pushes. Our 268 is getting fucked, and we are likely going to be routed pretty soon. So I'm going to support behind this cliff and using gun depression. I do not want them to shoot at me as well as them. So I'll tell my teammates that they're coming. But yeah, you want to be safe as well to support your teammates. So right now, if they push to attack the middle, I have flanking shots into their sides. But I also have to be aware that my position is also threatened. Because if they all bum rush me, I'm dead. So try to take some cover. They're not pushing up. Interesting. I don't have that much health. So right now I have flanking shots. Nice. So right now pull back. Alright, middle has not nearly fallen, but it's getting close. So take our time. So I wonder if the Type 5 will come around. But you need to be careful because they have guns also, and I don't want to be flanked. So play patiently. I mean, being a Unicom is not about always getting the best results. It's about consistency. It's about playing to your best. You don't have to always have the most damage to win a game. Ah, shit. Alright, so they're camping. But I have the Patton supporting me. Ow, 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 ow. High explosive AT tank. Here's what I think of your high explosive anti-tank. So, right now you do not want to push people by themselves. So wait for a friend. Always go with a buddy system. Unless you are absolutely sure that you could kill something. A lot of players would just let me rush to a side or just go YOLO to a side by themselves and get killed. Take your time. Play patiently. Now, Sam, you're being coward. I know. I want to live. It's not about losing the DPM race or losing the damage capability. It's about winning the match. Sometimes you don't have to do a lot. Sometimes all you have to do is watch a corner and prevent your teammates from being flanked. You might not get all the damage. You might not do the best. But you contribute to supporting your teammates. And they basically win. So it's a state of mind. You don't have to play, just do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to play like a pussy if you don't want to. You can go ham if you want to. 9 degrees of gun depression is great. It's not 10, but it's still pretty good. For AutoReloader, oops. Hiya! No, 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 no. Hey. I am hiding the wave. He's running away. I'm stuck. Alright, alright. Oh my god, who added so many rocks over here? Why is there so many rocks? Why are there so many rocks? Alright, always slide off a cliff using your sides because your tracks will be a shock absorber. There you go. And just have a detract tracks. If you're using your front of your vehicle or the rear, they will consider that as actual hull, and therefore if you hit a bad angle, you're dead from fall damage, quote unquote. So let's see how fast this thing could go, but it's more or less... Alright. So there you go, folks. The Progetto M40 model 1965. Is it worth it working all the way up from a new nation, from a new stock crew and whatever, but is it worth it? Well, it's flexible. It's flexible. It has the gun depression. That's also very important, but it doesn't have armor. So in the right hands, it's not a bad tank. So imagine a Leopard 1 with the AutoReloader. Doesn't have the accuracy though, or the DPM, whatever, but not bad. I mean, if this vehicle has more DPM, I think it will be better. But 250 DPM with a rammer is not bad. With the AutoReloader, you have to consider it the same as with Bad Chat. So I already play a lot of Bad Chats. Where the hell's mine? But yeah, Bad Chat has only like what? Where the hell's my crew? Return crew. But Bad Chat has only 2,300 DPM. So that DPM only goes for the same as shooting all the shells when you have the full clip. It's not dependent on the last shell. So this DPM for the freaking Italians. God, so many vehicles, I can't even find any of them. So for the Italians, this DPM, it's only representative of the last shell reload, of the 9 seconds reload. So in order to have that much DPM, you have to only use this vehicle as a conventional gun or a conventional one-shot, which is not the way you're supposed to play it. So the DPM is ranging from like 1,300 to 2,500. Depends on which shell you have, depends on all the stuff. But the key essence to understanding this vehicle is you do not need all the DPM. So this vehicle is not focused on having so much DPM like the Russians, like 3,300 or something. It doesn't have the DPM. It has the flexibility of killing stuff quickly or running away with some shells after you burst somebody. So if you burst somebody for like 1,000 damage, 3 shells in the tray, it actually could run away with 1 shell to protect itself, like D-track, and then it runs away. So it has that flexibility. It's a little bit more flexible than the Bad Chat, but the killing power of this vehicle is not as great as the Bad Chat. The Bad Chat has more killing power. Yes, it is assassin-esque of a vehicle, but this vehicle strives with better accuracy, better aim time, and gun depression, whereas the Bad Chat doesn't have the gun depression, or the elevation for that matter. But you have to consider how you should play this vehicle. Is it worth it? I think it is. I think if you have the interest in playing autoloaders, but kind of fear about how you should progress with the reading of the map, how to readjust to targets, whatever, how to readjust to different flanks, you might want to try this vehicle first, because it gives you some sort of sense with the auto reloading system of how you should play autoloaders, but it has the flexibility. It's more forgiving than the Bad Chat. If you mess up with the Bad Chat, you're fucked. So it is more forgiving. So the only downside about this vehicle is how does the tier 6, tier 7, tier 8 will work out. Because if you don't want to grind a terrible tank like the T-34-100 or the Czechoslovakians for that matter, nobody will play it. It same goes for the Chinese tank destroyers. Nobody has the tier 8. Nobody plays the tier 9. I rarely see them. So what the hell is the Czechoslovakians? But yeah, TVP VTU, you just saw with the last video, fucking garbage. It's terrible. So it depends on the experience of the middle tiers. If the middle tiers are horrible, nobody will play it. Nobody. So I want to have the TVP VTU, the TVP T5051. Yeah, I want to have that. It's basically like this system. It's AutoReloader, but it has the DPM. It cannot put the rammer and stuff, but it basically reloads pretty quickly as well. It takes like 25 seconds. With a good crew, it's like 23 or something. But it also has the burst. It has the DPM. Accuracy is not bad. Aim time is fast for AutoReloader, so why not? But yeah, this vehicle basically just puts a gigantic hamper on the experience of the whole line, where you feel that, fuck it, I'm not going to play the whole line, it's terrible, and you should like spend more time with other lines. So like for example, the Centurion line, every vehicle I kept in the British medium tanks because they are fun. I love the Crusader, I love the Cromwell's fast, Comet, a lot of DPM, holy crap. Centurion's good, they buff it. Centurion at tier 9 is also good, they buffed it. And the last vehicle is pretty decent. So this experience is great. You don't have any trouble grinding the line, and afterwards you get a pretty respectable tier 10. Whereas for the Czechoslovakians, you have, yeah, tier 6 is great, tier 7's fuck. It's not that great. It's workable, but not that great. And then you have the freaking tier 8, which is shitty. So some vehicles are great, some lines are great, but it depends on the experience. Another good example is the American mediums. I love the EZ8. I don't really love the T20, but whatever. The Pershing, I love it. The Patton, they buffed it. Basically buffed the turret a lot. And then you have the final Patton, which they buff it as well. So the whole experience is actually pretty decent. Whereas for the Czechoslovakians, so it depends on whether if you find the P43 BIS and the P43 TER workable. So these are the middle tiers, as well as the Panthera, as well as the Leopard prototype. But yeah, we'll see. So there you go, folks. The Progetto M40 model 1965. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it depends on the whole experience of the line. So we'll see. But thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Try out the test server if you can. They also are trying out the reducing or not using gold for premium shells, as well as the premium consumable. You cannot use these, or you cannot buy them for gold now. So they try to do the whole revamp of the gold shell, I think. But that would be great. Maybe. We'll see. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.